girl, CYNETHA Jade, most call me love, back at it with another live stream session. You guys, kind of feeling like serious chill vibes right now. So, I just kind of allowed for the ambience to be what it was going to be tonight, because it's matching the vibe. And I got two piles here, to get us through tonight. So I know I want to be comfortable. And I also know just the same, I expect that you guys should also want to be and to also be comfortable nonetheless. So hopefully you don't mind the little change in the background atmosphere, okay? It's not something that is necessarily permanent, right? Love and light, Rakan. Love and light to you, babe. But you know what? Change is inevitable, right? Since I'm talking change. Love and light, Cassandra. Glad you made it on. Um, so yeah, but also I'm not unmindful that there could high key be some significance to the vibe, the mood, and the allowing. And again, we do have two piles tonight, and I'm not gonna say which. I'm not gonna spoon feed it all to you tonight, you guys, because I want you to pay attention and get something out of it, right? Because from one pile to the next, maybe there's a little bit of something, all right, that you might resonate or hell lay claim to even. Makes sense. So please, you guys, please and thank you, utilize your intuition, of course. But I really do hope that you have a minute to hang out with. Um, Definitely, of course, this is one of my favorite places to be on here with you. And so call me greedy if you want to, but sometimes I just kind of like to get on here and just feel like the fact that I'm on here with you guys because quite frankly, if I do say so myself, I'm not on here as much as I would prefer to be, right? And of course, you know what? Don't feel bad for your girl because there is a lesson and a blessing in all of that jazz regarding that as well. Love like Fiona, gosh, what a wonderful turnout so far. I've been on here like, what, 2 minutes? You guys are showing up and showing out. I have the best collective. And of course, that's inclusive of moderators too, of course, of course. So thank you all because you all have your part to play and you all have your wins to celebrate, right? And some of us that maybe have been on the path a few moon cycles, we know too to celebrate some of those losses, right? When you lop off some of that dead weight, perhaps, even if it's just from you to you. And you know what? Sometimes we can't really always look so far outwardly, right? When we know, because, having been done the work, and many of us have, but I'm mindful that we're all somewhere on the path, right? So no worries. Okay, as spirit leads, you will continue to, keywords, be right on time in whatever time factor or format you may want to be talking about that seems to be significant for you on a personal note. All right, you guys, take the pressure off. Just don't give up. There's a difference, right? So for some of you saying, yeah, I've been working the steps, I've been loving and lighting myself, I've been climbing out of this crab bucket barrel mentality, or whatever you got going, okay? And just the same that maybe you're not at that end game, please know to take the pressure off and just simply allow for the allowing, okay? Do your part, surrender the rest, all right? And again, even in those sacrifices, those losses, as it were, therein is your win, your lesson, your power, right? Sometimes you guys, the lesson is simply excuse me, I'm trying to say the blessing. My goodness. The blessing, okay? We often talk about the lesson in and of itself being the blessing, right? But sometimes the blessing is seriously just the experience because there's always power in knowing, right? Something with more specificity than most, irregardless of what the something, or dare I say, experience may or may not be. Okay? So please don't be that one to poo poo on some of your blessings, talking about, well, they were only lessons. And, you know, and also just the same, don't be that one that goes, well, I've completed many lessons and, I've gotten really good at not repeating them. But I'm just not feeling enough. I'm just not doing it fast enough. I'm just applying pressure in a way that doesn't really bode you well, nor benefit you or anyone around you. So please be mindful to be grace filled. And I feel like that's a carryover from the last time we kind of gathered on here. But I'm mindful that we do have some different people on. And you know what? I learned not to fight the repetitive channeling, right? Who are we to say, right? Oh no, we've heard that enough times. Like, well, really? Because I feel like if we had, probably wouldn't come through the channeling so many times as well, right? So be mindful to be patient with yourself and others, because we're all in this together, you guys. I say all that to say, right? And again, be mindful to celebrate your own wins. You don't want to be that one that waits to celebrate you unless and until everyone outside and around and maybe even away from you should have the audacity to be demure enough, as they say, to celebrate you. No, you better just have your own demure outfit, hat, and accessories on to be able to already celebrated the fact that you didn't give up, even if you can't yet celebrate the fact that you are at the end of a journey. Gosh, should you be so fast to get to the end anyhow? Right? It is what you make of it. And guess what? If you're really great at not enjoying the journey, is the journey worth it? Right? I mean, it seems to be just more like toil and labor and sacrifice and messiness, right? But again, it is what you make of it. So you do have free will here. And so you can look at all the positives or all the negatives as you deem fit. I'm not here to project onto you, but I am here very much to encourage you to try the higher vibes, the more positive path, situations, mental state, emotional state. Because if you found this message, if you found this channel, if you aligned to really be in the same space that we hold when we do these energetic exchanges on the live stream, right? And even off of them, because I too very much am connected with you. Please believe, in spite of whether or not I'm in front of you via a live stream and or in real time or not. Okay? So please take yourselves as seriously as the divine that backs you takes you. Okay? Let's talk about pawn number one quickly, but firstly, I wanna ask you guys to be open-minded and maybe even ask a question that could be answered from one pile to the next, because I did hit up one of my special answer decks, right? Interestingly enough, the answers themselves gave a message. Of course, I was, it was feeling like more than what I bargained for, to say so myself, but I'm the messenger, right? So there's that. I'm not here to manipulate the messages, you guys. If you're wondering why it sounds a little like maybe last time, okay, then maybe instead of that, wonder what you didn't get out of the last time, perhaps, okay? Just see. Because how do you know if you know something or not until you know it? And again, that goes back to the experience, right? It's not always about the work, okay? Just like it's not always about the reward. There's a bit of everything in between. And really, the repetitive theme, which I too noticed, right, has been that we are to really kind of honor it all aspects of self, dark and light as well, masculine and feminine, whether you want to call them dark or light, you got both for each. It's a lot of stuff to kind of ground and really get to know and honor. I get it. Maybe that's why we talk about it a lot too, right? But I was blessed, okay, long story short, to be able to have some comfort food over this weekend, you guys. And sharing's caring. It's not a contest. I'm not bragging, to be clear. And I'm very much sharing and also giving you guys a little bit of, if I do say so myself, tangible evidence that you are very much on my heart and mind, and that I very much am with you, even outside of the live streams, okay? Because even during my comfort food session, I pulled some very beautiful and very timely, if I do say so myself, messages. All right, and immediately I knew I had to bring them to you guys. Okay, so pile number one, your message um, says, keep your focus on the journey, not just the destination. And I thought, what a specific, cookie message here. From the Chinese fortune cookie. It's not the deck, but literally in my matrix, my reality, as it were. What are words and titles, anyways, right? But I digress. During my comfort food session, all right, that's pretty hella specific and also ties in line with some of those repeat messages coming through the channeling, through this channel, anyways. Okay. So interesting that when we do talk about our outside world, okay, connecting back to what all you may touch and feel on from one viewpoint of looking to the left, to the right, or in between. Okay, whatever you got going on in your neck of the woods here, all right, with your experience, definitely connects and correlates and coincides with the vast knowledge that definitely does exist within you, yes, but also your believability in it, right? So, for instance, the fact that I knew I was able, because I had been manifesting, to have a comfort food session, all right? Not gonna lie, I had to do a bit of work on that. I didn't just kind of slide out of bed, right? I had to maintain some sort of sensible discipline in weeks prior, and making sure everything in balance. Okay, if I'm being honest, you guys, I had wanted the Chinese food way before that, but the body was saying no. Okay, and I know that, weird as it sounds, because I asked, I checked in, right? Now, if I didn't do that, I might have made things in the body a little, a lot uncomfortable. Long story short, right? I know that instant gratification, even from self to self, is not always the best or highest vibrational outcome or experience. Okay. And again, goes back to sensibility, maybe even aspects of emotional and spiritual maturity at this point. It's not a contest. All I'm saying is you live differently. See how I know to say that, right? Because the older version of me, not even like the OG, like version number 1.0, right? Because we're always talking about we're at least at the 2.0 or far greater at this point, as much work as we've done and as we should be saying, right? And honoring and celebrating. But I tell you, any old version of me would have been like, yeah, but now we're just going to chew it down and, let the good times roll and deal with the after effects later. Now I value myself too much and my body, which I am not simply just my body. Good thing for that, be really restrictive, right? I'm sharing, I'm also being vulnerable in case anyone didn't notice, okay? To assist you guys with doing your work, to understand, to do your part, to take your next baby steps or giant leaps as you please, as you deem fit, okay? So hopefully this is resonating. Hopefully you guys are understanding, what I'm putting down here. And again, being vulnerable, of course, it's kind of a prerequisite for me to be able to do that, to share with you. See how vulnerability is not always a weakness, it's not always bad, and it can most assuredly be rewarding. And you know what? From one pile, one or two tonight, either way, however, you may or may not resonate with either or both, okay? You do need to take note that vulnerability too is part of the experience, and it can be enjoyable. It can actually be freeing, right? So please don't fall prey to the illusion, whether it's an illusion of restriction, all right? Restriction on capabilities, restriction on prosperity, perhaps, right? Plug in what feels good for you to plug in there and make sense of it, though. Don't just plug it in and just leave it like, oh, just put a period on the end of that sentence, that paragraph, that life, that incarnation, because that's not on the table here. Nobody said that, to be clear, okay? And I know you're utilizing your intuition, so of course you didn't get it twisted, right? Okay. Now, pile number two, your marker here, there could be some significance about tonight. Maybe even earlier tonight, there was some sort of like event or phone call or change in perception, right? Maybe. Okay. But really, I'd like to hone in on your heart's desires will come true. Now, again, huge specificity on that one because we're always talking about manifestation, talking about our whys and how ain't nobody going to tell us different because we already know we got what we have. So we lay claim to it. So we see it tomorrow, even if we can't see it yesterday or 14 minutes from now. Right? Right. So take the tonight aspect of the message if you want the restriction. Oh, see, there's a lesson in that, though. It's kind of coinciding with the cards. See, I know that. I'm going to catch you up, though, but I promise I'm not here to manipulate the message, but I'm also not here to skim over them, if that makes sense. I think there's some synchronicity to whether you're on, like, feeling like the brighter later days are at least approaching, if not, you already being upon them. And I have to address it this way because general collective, we're all somewhere on the path. Some of us really have been in some situation where Okay, the phoenix is already rising from the ash, right? Other phoenixes out there, perhaps you're waiting for the ash to settle a bit so you can see which way was the sky again. I get it. Okay, like seriously, right? But keep going, and again, do not give up. Okay, that's the giving up part is not on this timeline or like this frequency. Okay, so in case you wondered, still not an option. Also, try to not wonder about if that's so much an option anymore, because I feel like you kind of balancing things out that way with an intentioned mental state, with an intentioned thought pattern of significance, you can kind of really work out of some of that really residual energy, that old earth type of consciousness crap. Really, just saying. So pound number one, okay, I can tell you we are talking in general course about things, all things connecting to life, lifestyle, maybe even business, you might want to say. In pile number two, we're talking love. We're also talking a big decision about vulnerability. Okay, so that's what I can tell you so far from one pile to the next. You guys, again, I did ask, um, so that the cards could come out where you guys could actually receive an answer about something personal, something you didn't have to lay into the chat box or on the line in the open, as it were, okay? So that you can get your own personal message, and also to keep you jazzed up about using your own intuition without outwardly asking someone else to confirm what you already know, firstly, okay? Because there's power in that. I want you guys to operate out of the power you already possess. It's nothing new. It's nothing that anyone outside of divinity has to or needs to give to you. It's already a thing, right? You're just really honing in on honoring all that you possess, whether simply and solely skills, giftings, and or capabilities, whether of the spiritual and or the intuitive kind or not, and beyond, okay? Because you guys are here to do, I don't even want to just say something. I also don't want to box it in and say just only 15 things that it could be, when they could be innumerable. You guys remember we talked about the infinite possibilities, right? So you really do have to do your part. Here's that word again, to honor the specificity with which you want to see out of your experience here. It's okay. It's safe to be vulnerable with divine forces, with God, with Goddess, with Source, with Jesus, with Buddha, right? However, you say or need the tag words or titles or the ascended masters' names to come out of my face to plug in here to make sense for you on your personal path. I'm not here to project onto you which names and titles they should be. I'm also really being prompted to remind you guys you don't need to know them all, right? Could you imagine if the prerequisite to most of this stuff was knowledge? Why would we come here on the other side of a veil? How cruel would that be, right? It's easy to kind of view the bittersweet turned sour side of free will, but free will just simply just the same as karma, right? Is what it is. It's what you make of it, what you're putting out with your own expectations, what you are emitting with your own frequency, right? And so, really, often when we feel like we are not in charge, we are not heard, not seen, not supported by divine forces, one of two things is happening there. Okay. And I'm not here to project onto you, just offering some clarity. Okay. And maybe if it's not for you, it's for someone around you. So it's okay to hear it. Okay. But in all honesty, one of two things is going on there. Okay, at the root, there's fear, and of course, it's well and good to talk about that. But what of it, though? Like, what does it mean? Well, when you dive in a little bit deeper, you can really see that you're either not trusting yourself, your capabilities, your consistency, your capability of being, maintaining, and or becoming disciplined in the things that maybe are not easy but are necessary for success. Well, how would you know any of that if you didn't even know what you wanted to be successful at? And God forbid you knew what you wanted to be successful at, and you just couldn't get the capability to believe you could be successful at that, in spite of the specificity of your desires, wants, needs, wishes. This is again why it's so important to have your own connection with divinity. whatever that means for you. Some people need to go outside barefoot and touch grass. Another hugs a tree. Another swims deep diving into still waters of a lake or nearby, body of water, whether man-made or not. Another need only light a candle and watch the flame for a few seconds to connect, to ground, to give yourself the stillness and or the silence, the chant, the ambiance. Everything's a synchronicity, right? To tap in, to be comfortable as you do, not rushed, not rigid, open, surrendering, allowing yourselves to be undone, okay? To be vulnerable, to sacrifice perhaps, okay? Whether of time, whether of mentality, emotions, whether it's feeling them more or not, falling prey to them, all right? Depending on where you are with that, okay? Depending on what all you got going on in the spiritual realm. Spiritual warfare is very much a part of this life, okay? In spite of, if you want to call it the matrix, cool, all right, and still stands the message, spiritual warfare. If you want to talk about being religious and in the religious sect and community, same deal there. Right? You can even trace it back from one religion to the next if you want to even get into the nitty-gritty part of that. Okay? And this is why we talk about it just is what it is, and simultaneously it is what you make of it. Right? If you know that knowledge is power, yet you never choose to learn and grow, please don't expect to be successful at being powerful whilst ignorant. It's not a thing, right? It's so interesting because people want to, fall prey to the illusion of logic, right? But even if you properly implement logic, even into the things illogical, still checks out if you're open, not trying to restrict divinity or self into any box, form, shape, format, person, realm, outcome, job, relationship, family, title, expectations of self and others, right? All of those things that can just the same produce freedom if left unchecked, if not specific in your wants, your whys, even. Why am I being stubborn in my faith about this? Why am I stubbornly upholding my boundary and my right to have boundaries? Oh, yeah, well, you know why now. Because when you didn't know why, you lived out like you didn't know why. And things got really scary there, didn't it? People got real possessive of you there, didn't they? And they expected horrific things and outcomes for you. All while you gave and served and loved and tried again. Now is the time for you to get stubborn towards you. What do you want? What do you not want? To the point of understanding, oh, this sounds like, feels like, smells like what I climbed out of. What I know I don't deserve. Oh my gosh, did you come from the crumb section, sir, ma'am, sis, bro, bob, Brenda? Right? The crumb section, you came to the queen. From the crumb section, you came to the king. From the crumb section, with an expectation that I should chew upon you, that I should gaze upon you and act and action out as if you are in my frequency. It's not about being better than anyone else. It's just energy and vibes don't lie. People do, right? So you've got to be honest with yourself as well as others. Okay? You can't be having this super duper radar like, okay, is this a good situation, is this a bad situation? If you don't know you, how would you know? If you don't know all aspects of you, what truthfully is good for you? Haven't you thought, man, that job would be perfect? Ooh wee, it's in my city. Come to find out, each and every one of those people that ever signed up and got approved and chosen over you have health issues. Right? But it was in your city, it looks so pretty. Yeah, so do some of those ex-lovers. Right? And years later, do they even look what you kind of saw when you squinted through the rose-colored glasses at them about to see, to even allow for you to chew in them crumbs? I'm pretty sure if you check right now, go ahead, I'll wait. But Yeah, you're looking better than them, right? Yeah, that, like by like hand over fist. Yeah, yeah, that's yep, karma. Oh my goodness. See how not everything is logic based, so you can't always check and balance it against logic. And this all traces back to you actually doing the work to understand you, what's within you. All right. How, if you do perceive lack, that you can take your energy back. Some people have cars, jobs, families, and businesses on the strength of laying with you when you were accepting crumbs. We don't accept crumbs now, right? And that's well and good. But don't forget about the other part. Call your energy back so you can stop wondering why your bank account's in the negative, right? It's all connected. Because again, this life is far more spiritual, based on lessons and karma and ish, right? Yeah. So now that you know, right? You're continuing. I'm just going out on a limb here, saying you're continuing to live your best life, starting right now, though, right? Right, right, right. Okay? Don't forget. Now, who am I speaking to for pile number one? Well, I could be speaking to somebody who is connected to moon energy, who perhaps manifests utilizing moon energy, who perhaps is connected to Lilith as well. Doesn't have to be the case. All right. I'm also hearing Hecate. Someone here could be a practitioner of sorts. Hoodoo is coming through. Uh, Somebody here could have a, whether guy, girl, what have you, short hair. All right. If you are a male, you could also have a beard mustache combo. Doesn't have to be the case. Somebody here connecting to pile number one could be an artist of sorts. Specifically, like oil and acrylic paints are coming through. Could be mixed media as well. Somebody here could be connecting to media. Okay. Whether this is through journalism of sorts, whether this is through, maybe you've got your own podcast, or you're scratching records like a good DJ does. No, I mean, actually, I don't know if they really scratch them. Like they scratch them, but I don't know if they're like scratched. I often wondered that. I'm not sure. I think it depends on the person, perhaps, or the skill, or the technique. Anywho, right? Um, there could be some significance to either the Asian culture. You could know you have a previous incarnation. Like for instance, like maybe you grew up in this incarnation, and for whatever reason, every time you hear about Ming Dynasty, like something inside of you just kind of wants to light up, like you remember it was a good time or something, right? And next thing you know, you start looking at artifacts, you start feeling juices flowing. Maybe somebody here should plug in whatever the dynasty or location or ancient civilization makes sense for you here, hon. But these are indicators that you've got a connection. If you have a connection, it's not happenstance, right? Just saying. Okay, it's okay to be open to the what ifs in the sense of actually finding out, right? What's not okay is just to rock those what ifs that really are just born out of fear and really are just stalling you from delaying the inevitable, which is that success. I mean, you and success go hand in hand. You found the channel, right? Something here is resonating for you. If you're still with me, your higher self is going, yes, obviously. And I get it, you guys. Sometimes we need to play catch up with our muggle selves here, to use a Harry Potter reference. And sometimes it's just really, really nice. I don't want to say necessary because I'm not here to word curse, but it's really, really nice to have the confirmation. I didn't say validation. That's not the same. We don't need that, okay? Unless from ourselves, okay? Divine already gave us all the validation we need because we still exist here. And very purposefully, of course, okay? Um, I could be speaking to somebody who is African American, or who is of certain Indian descent, perhaps. Okay. And I could be speaking to someone who is, how do you want to say that? I want to use like a better word than what they're giving me. Hold on. So like, how like somebody could just be like, as far as body habitus, whether guy, girl, what have you, they could be like definitely not on the petite side, but it doesn't mean they're just, like the grade A supreme couch potato version of that type of body habitus either. They're just not really small, right? So it's like maybe it might say thick. You might say a little out of shape, perhaps, right? And I'm not here to project a word curse. I'm just trying to explain as best I can what is coming through and off of the cards. Now, here's the Sitch Pile number one. The first card coming out for your pile was a card of some sort of strife, angst, anxiety, stagnation, hesitancy, lack. It's giving, right? Whether this is connecting simply and solely to money, and or more, or just life in general, you sustaining it in general, even perhaps, right? And it's like, well, take the pressure off. We've already started with the channel being opening so far tonight with that beautiful reminder of the divinity that backs you. That includes you too, right? But here's the sitch: if you are believing to the point where it trumps the actual truth, the fact that you want to create, which goes like, it's me against the world, I'm all alone here, nobody actually gives a rat's arse about me, then that's the experience you'll see and have more to talk about. Love the light shine. Welcome, babe. You know? So, when you feel like, if you know you're somebody, Paul number one, that often is trying to put their coach hat on about the struggle or the repeated, how do I want to say this? Or the repeated suggestion of, you're all alone here. If you went missing tomorrow, nobody'd notice or care if they did, right? Um, then you need to get to the root of that, because when you get to the root of that, not to be rude, but it is a version of yourself, old or not, okay, that is producing some rotten fruit there at the core. And that could be because of past experiences that validly felt like that, sounded like that when they said it. Ask me how I know, okay? Right? So, but again, going back to the it is what you make of it. Now that you know, oh, friendly reminder, you're in charge here, okay? Now that's not saying you're here to fix everything and everyone, and you're here to do everything always and in always by yourself on your own blood, sweat, and tears, and left to your own devices with no support. However, if that's the truth you're telling to the point where you believe it as actual truth, it's going to trump the actual truth, which is that you are here as divine right and strategy. You're owed ish. That's way better than just ish, and way more than what you've been bargaining for, asking for, manifesting for. Okay. So, the stagnation card, okay, really talking about needing to heal. And you know what, you guys? I'm not gonna lie to you. Um, you heal you, right? Of course, with divine assistance, right? But gone are the days where you can truthfully fall prey to the illusion. I'd like to actually project that onto you just because I love you so much, right? But seriously, think about it. So you do the work too. I mean, I feel like I'm stating the obvious, but gone are the days where you look outside of yourselves to produce anything that you already have inside of you. And that includes things like encouragement and happiness and joy. That also includes things like contentment and, being good at being patient, right? Being good at being nice to you, right? Some people are really out there in them streets and in the sheets, oh, loving and hoping and wishing and praying and pleading up to, any of the ascended masters that you can think of, any of the angels, any of the deities that you can think of. Oh, please help so and so. Please, my child needs blah 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 blah. You know, and at the end of the day, you don't have it left for you. And so going back to you with you on this pile number one, how loving is that? Did you choose that? So now that you can see that you've been, okay, accidentally choosing it, will you continue to choose it just because it's not easy? Because again, your perception, you're drumming that part up though. It's not easy to make the changes to live better, to then experience better and actually have better and help people even more, right? Call it selfish if you want to, but you got to get there, babe, so you can actually do what you came to do and what you're built to do and what divine designed you to do. But you're not here to do it without the full frontal awareness of your badassery, spiritual and otherwise. I mean, think of how beautiful your heart must look in the spiritual realm. I don't mean simply and solely the organ in the meat suit. My goodness, somebody really needs to not be so restrictive. Okay, you've got to let this, even the messages flow. All right, don't overthink them. If you overthink the process, I need you to know it's always going to be less pleasurable, not as pleasant, not as fun. All right, and I know many of us here, overthinkers or not, you don't necessarily sit there and intend, okay, now's the time, because you know what? It is Monday at 7:23 a.m. and so I'm just gonna make the time to just kind of lose my shit right now and just spaz out. No, nobody sits there, okay? But here's a sitch. Perhaps just, remain with the open thinking here, you guys. Just 2 more seconds, I promise. Okay, I'm gonna ring the bell, I promise, right? But here's the sitch. If you make time instead, right? Like it's so nonsensical to make time to stress and worry, right? Yet you do it more than you make time to meditate, to ground, to feel into the manifestation, right? Oh, self-gratification half the time seems like it's trumping that if you look at most of the streets out there and the people in them. But I need you to know the cheat codes really just are that. Just like karma is what it is, and just like you are here to enjoy the journey, the experience for what all it is to be, and what it is now, and what it's no longer, right? Right. And same deal for the versions of you that exist now, that no longer exist, right? You guys, you really need to kind of like soak in your own juices about this, right? With the experience, with the celebration, with the honoring of self, right? The fact that many of you, like, think about it. You've had nothing and no one, and still people knew enough to come to you and say, please, I have need. And you had enough divine backing that, in spite of having lack in your outward expression of self, in your matrix, in your world, however you want to say it, okay? That you were still able to help those people. Now, when you intention and pull the knowledge together and you intend to help yourself first, not out of narcissism, not out of spite, but out of bettering yourself, out of making a higher, more pure quality of your experience, of course you're going to help all the more and with more and less effort. So serious. All right. Now, I do see that there could be some substances being used in pile number one. Doesn't matter what they are. I'm not going to name them because I don't want anyone to feel called out here. I want everyone to do the work to make sure that this isn't you. Who cares what the substance is? And some of you are going, I know it's not me, but you don't go a day without coffee or anything else. Doesn't matter what it is. How about that? Some of you, it's sugar, right? And what of it is one overcoming one, like less stigma attached to that of overcoming something else? Who cares? You're losing focus. There's no point in wasting time and delaying the inevitable, which again is success. And even trying to play check weights and balances about, is one sin greater than the other? Because they're not. The man that sits down to the table after church sermon and overeats. Oh, see, they don't want that part to come out though, right? The sin is the same as some of the other sins you hear about in a church house, or not. Take church off the table. I don't know why it's coming through. Synchronicity, perhaps. But people want to get caught up in, well, that sin involved a child. I'm not here standing for any sin to involve anybody's child, to be clear. But to be clear, just the same. And this is how you can really know. Maybe this is coming through purposefully so somebody can really wrap their head around the fact that when you emit frequency, When you say words, regardless of the intention, the divine is not going to say, oh, okay, you were just, oh, that was a snide remark. You weren't actually intentionally meaning that in the black and white sense. The divine doesn't care to do the deductive, excuse me, the universe does not care to do the deductive reasoning. The frequency, the believability connected to that vibrational frequency, okay, because they kind of coincide, they kind of connect, right? Like, for instance, if you believed that somebody was right behind you getting ready to make an attempt at your life, you would most assuredly, if you believe that, go into what is at least called fight or flight response, and you would make immediate deductive reasoning. It's them or me, right? And what are you going to do? You're going to get up and fight right now, right? Well, that's reasonable, okay? It's not reasonable not to do the work, not to actually recognize the patterns, what you are facing and why, okay? And then just accept it as, well, divine didn't back me. No, you didn't back you. Divine backed you when they placed you into this realm. That's how you stay here with its assistance. Whether you call it God, Goddess, Jesus, Yeshua, all right? So get your head in the game and utilize the cheat codes, you guys. Because some of you have business writing on this. Some of you have abundance writing on this. And what I mean by that is you need to call judgment. Oh no, these people don't get to have access to me. No, no, no. I gave them more than 3 chances, and you know what? If I'm being honest, that was however many more chances too many. And at this point, I have to look at my own action, because just like you wouldn't allow a child to be led to slaughter, you too should not be leading you there. Talk about, but I thought he changed. No, I don't know why. He gave you every inkling as to no, no change there, right? Except for some of the pocket change he took from you last night, right? Or vice versa. Okay, guy to girl, girl to, you know how to plug in the characters with what you know you already climbed out of. Let's be honest, because you would need to so that you could honor that. Hello, gone are the days of sweeping it under the rug. No, that was never me. You know, I don't know about nothing about that. I don't know nothing about the jailhouse, mister. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, well, wait a minute, because pretty sure, like, that part of the journey, whether it was in the jailhouse or not, is damn sure part of you now, right? And as it should be, in the sense of honoring your growth, not in the sense of shame, stigma. I'll never be nothing else. No, that would be falling prey to the illusion. But it is just the same illusionary if you think that skipping over and glossing over who and what you were helps you in your now space. You got another thing coming. Because if you forget enough, you might fall back around into some of those classrooms that you already graduated out of. Okay, I'm speaking in code, but please, somebody get this, right? Somebody here could have some significance to hand tattoos, doesn't have to be the case. You're really being guided to allow the old cycles close, allow the old versions of yourselves to essentially ashen out a bit, right? And instead have the phoenix version of yourself rise. That's what you are here and set up here to do, not fail. So again, I go back to you and success. There's nothing else there, okay? There, it's safe to believe that. However, just because that's the truth doesn't mean you don't have any kind of actions. Some of you need to cut off some people. Others of you need to be more engaging. You need to be vulnerable. You need to be more communicative. You need to be more present for yourself. Gone are the days where you can tell yourself, no, no, I'm not hungry. I don't need to eat. No, no, I don't have bodily functions that need taken care of because I've got 6 other, I've got children, I've got like, you literally need to make it make sense and balance all aspects of yourself so that you can survive this world. Because ain't nothing easy about surviving here just because you're set up for success, right? It is what it is, you guys. And whoever I'm talking to tonight, or whenever the heck you find this message, right? Timeless message, by the way, in case you weren't aware. You need to honor that you are like top tier, big boy, big girl, however you need to say it, like primo, uh, apple of God's eye, God's favorite, the universe's favorite, however you subscribe here, right? Because I'm not for everyone. This channel is not for everyone. We are here doing the work, and we are overcomers, and we are success. And you too need to do your part to believe in that so that you receive it. Not because you don't already, not because you don't already have it, and not because it's not already owed to you, not because the divine turned a blind eye and said you weren't worthy. Oh, you messed up here, so every third Thursday of the month you got to go through hell and back. No. Haven't you gone through enough? Haven't you overcome enough? Many of you under the sound of my voice right now have been already the generational curse breaker. That was the prophecy of your lineage. Chills on that. So why won't you honor that when you look at that bill, that debt? When you look at, maybe where your son or daughter is going or is currently, right? And see through instead the eyes of the overcomer that you are. Yes, everyone has their part to play. Yes, you cannot coddle them. You cannot have a connection with divinity for them. So be mindful of that and give you that energy, because you've already produced such great fruit anyhow off of the work that some of you have just started to do, even if you've been at this for a few years. Just so serious. You guys, the divine will always bless you with more than what you intended to come here for. Why is that? Because you are not separate from the divine, and the divine is loving. The divine is the most radical stealth mode version of, the ultimate strategist that we in our muggle suits, you want to talk about restrictions, we can't keep up. That's why we got a lot of whys, right? It's also why it's very important to know most of your whys. You can't sit here and say, I'm not going to blow smoke up anywhere, right? And say that you're going to know everything always and in all ways. But I will most assuredly remind you that the truth of the matter is you're not here to know it all. So you can take the pressure off. I mean, how how fantastical could life be if you knew it all? It's like, okay, now see, I see the postman coming. Yeah, he got that letter with the red streak across. Frig, I think that's either one or two companies. Golly, I hope it ain't the water company. God, here come the water company streak. Talking about final notice, right? How phantasmical would the experience, the journey be, right? If simultaneously you got the download, well, in 23.29 days, I'm going to have this miracle money hit my account. I'm going to check it over 3 times and see that is some miracle extra money. I know I prayed for the money, but I didn't realize it was only going to take 23 point whatever the heck it was, right? Days to receive that. Wouldn't it take out some of the thrill? Let's be honest. I mean, we've been talking about self gratification, instant gratification a few times just this session alone. It stands to reason it's a synchronicity. So could you imagine that? Could you imagine, even if you can't imagine that, for instance, let's go to Amazon. I don't know why I like to use this, but usually most people I know, we've all got an Amazon cart of sorts, right? Whether we have intention to buy all of that or ever will or ever should, right? But just for this example, let's just pretend like, okay, you got a cart that's filled with stuff, right? And how about if you couldn't even do that, right? How about if instead you couldn't even get the full thought of, let me go to Amazon, let me open the app, because as soon as you went to try to actually be like, let me, everything showed up at your door, whether you had to pay for it or not. Let's say you didn't have to, because one thing I know, again, the divine gives us more than we bargain for, more than we do our part to even earn. For those earners out there that love to focus on earning first instead of just receiving, but I advise you to work on that too, honey bun. Just saying, because you want to manifest smart, not just hard. Life isn't necessarily all that easy anyway. So you want to have a higher vibrational experience, which means you don't want to be signing up to be stressed and toiling, sweating, and laboring everything, including receiving your manifestations. Makes sense. Hopefully somebody's getting this. All right. Um, but imagine if before you could even figure out what you wanted or what you didn't want, you just had it or you just never have it again. It would take the it's like how like when babies you know, they come out and they want to cry and they want to vocalize, and instead somebody just goes "Ah!" for them. They get all right. It's not giving fun, it's given like confusion, dejection, like oppression, control, restriction. So please don't do that to you by expecting every experience, right, to most assuredly be the epitome of instant and or self-gratification, when that might be the lesser, lower vibrational experience. And who wants a mid experience? Anyways, makes sense? So please don't be restricted by thinking you should win or lose all the time, because you all the time are success, regardless of the wins and or the loss. So going back to it is what it is. I'm really not here, and I hope no one's feeling this way, to beat anyone up about these things. I just want you to live a lot more cleanly, with regards to your words, your thoughts, okay, even your impulses. Right? You're not here to never again have a worry. I can't guarantee that. I wouldn't. I mean, remember how I don't blow smoke up your, you know. So there's that, right? Um, However, once you get used to, okay, I identify this as this. Oh, this is this kind of fear. Oh, freaking abandonment issue trying to creep out. Okay, we're going to address it. That's the win. That's the goal. The goal is never to have to face it again necessarily, because how would you know that you know that you know that you know you overcame it if you never faced it again? See how it makes sense now? And it doesn't actually equate to you being out of control and off the rails now. In fact, it's giving normalcy a bit, huh? Like, oh, that's why it's try again, because you got to know on the other side of the try again, right? That you are capable, that you are equivalent to success, that you are not denied by the divine, unless and until that literally means they're loving on you so much that they're actively protecting you from some unknown ish. Well, good thing you can understand, even in those moments of, oh, I don't know, I don't understand, that you're not here to understand all things always, anyways. And you can allow for the experience in that surrender moment to be enjoyable. It's really about self preservation and assisting the divine to assist you with what? Learning and growing your soul, enjoying the experience, being. It's not always about that to do list. You're not here to intention to heal all the time, but you are here to intention to live your best life. And so, of course, that does include healing, but it also means doing the part that allows you to implement the steps to know you've overcome it. Otherwise, you're robbing yourself of the experience, which the divine is not here to do for you. And that is not punishment. It's, most would aptly state on the other side of the veil, a pleasurable right. Not every soul gets to come here to this realm, and not every soul is strong enough. So again, you guys are capable, and you guys do connect to the divinity that you're connected to, the creation, the all in all, source. Okay? And that is okay. All right. The problem comes in when you tell yourself, I'm disconnected, and or when you will yourself to live out the experience. I have to say it that way because there's no disconnection. To not have an experience whereby it looks like, sounds like, feels like, and you're not talking like you are connected to divinity. Does that make sense? I hope somebody's making sense of this. All right. It's really, really serious work, and I know it's not an overnight process, you guys, but you guys have already been well underway, many of you. I know you're not first timers on here. So I hope you guys really are kind of like smiling along with me at this point about the fact that, like, you guys are freaking awesome, man. Like, I really mean that. I'm not saying it because it's just like fun to say. if I'm being honest, it's really not fun for me to say because, quite frankly, I mean, me being an energy reader to you guys, like, it's like I'm saying it, but I can also simultaneously feel you guys are still, man, you deserve to be feeling that way more than what I'm feeling you feeling it. And we're talking about you feeling you, which is really alarming for me because I care about you guys, right? It's not a contest, but I mean, I'm really not just saying, I believe in you just because, like what would I get out of that anyways, right? Firstly, and many of you know I'm not going to sugarcoat anything, whether I'm on camera or not. So please don't be that one where you got somebody like your girl here, or anyone or anything inclusive of divinity believing in you more than you believe in you. Wouldn't that be silly, right? Wouldn't it be something you should change? It's something you definitely could change if you found it were the case, right? And it's something you definitely deserve to change. Some of you have money writing on this, okay? Some of you have connections writing on this. Some of you have connections hindering your connections that are writing on this because you didn't call the judgment that you know you were supposed to. And you know what I'm saying? So going to this question that I said you guys could ask in a generic general sense, I mean, take from it what you will, but I clearly see what's going on here. It's like you got outed, if I do say so myself. So allow me to read through these cards, all right? You can take whichever one answer singularly might make sense for you, and I have to say it that way because it was such a jumbled mess that it couldn't make sense all the way from one end of it to the next, except for the message that I received from it. First card out, not a chance. I didn't make the cards, okay? Oh, positive right after a negative. It's feasible, which means it's doable, okay? Maybe somebody talks like that, feasible, right? Maybe somebody at work talks like that. Um, we next had come out guaranteed. That's a very positive, affirmative answer of sorts, right? And then, ba-bam, sandwiched in on the back end, we've got never. Negative Nelly, negative Nelson's never. So what you're looking at here is the epitome of current energies whenever you find this message, if you should in fact resonate with it, and you've got to utilize your own intuition on that. I'm not projecting it should or should not, okay? Is a situation where the top right of the sandwich, if we're talking about it this way, and we are, maybe sandwiches are some significance, we've got not a chance, and the other part of the bun or the bread, whether on the backside or not, is never. But the truth of the matter is, it is feasible. You are capable, and your success is guaranteed. Why doesn't it feel better than this, though? Well, probably because you're so outwardly talking about not a chance and never. You're so outwardly talking about what you don't want to receive, what you know you don't deserve, but yet you're experiencing that, aren't you? That's why we're talking about this pound number one. And me personally, in case you cared, not that you should, quite honestly, I hate that for you. What kind of sandwich is that? Send it back. Maybe return to sender is of some significance here, pound number one. Since I said that, and since my trusty Evil Eye deck is right here, let's F around and find out, shall we? Because you guys, sometimes when you're having those negative thoughts, and those negative emotions, they're being projected onto you. They're not even an origination from you to you. That's why it's very important to know what is. Right? All right, I'm going to ring the bell. Those that know what to do, please and thank you, go on ahead. I'm going to investigate this out in the meantime. I have not forgotten about gifting you the free readings. I really appreciate you guys hanging with me, though. This is strangely feeling more urgent since I opened the channeling than I understood during the pre-session. Yeah, causing you to miss out or lose an opportunity. And you know what's crazy? This actually landed on pound number two, you guys. If you resonated with pound number one, a couple things. You could also resonate with aspects of pound number two. But also, remember I said, you guys, pound number two was the one that connected more with the lovers type of reading, right? The situation ship type of reading, okay? And so, you know, nothing just happens, you guys. causing you to miss out even in opportunities in love, okay, is really being projected onto you. And you know why that might be? See, you don't want to fall prey to the illusion here. Some might find it if they weren't aware, okay, that because they were not yet in the success zone, and since people who really wholeheartedly are seeing and feeling perhaps essence of your impending success, that is, again, remember, guaranteed, okay, they may be projecting onto you that you should be the one to not pick up on that and or maintain your sense of faith and or believability in same, so that you ultimately would in fact lose out. So that perhaps, even more aptly stated for some, depending on who I'm reading for, they could in fact destiny swap, knowing yours is a destiny guaranteed for you to live out and experience and enjoy and be highlighted because of what you've endured, because of every good choice you made, because of every time you gave when you didn't have, right? You most assuredly are not only awarded, okay, but owed success. All right. So again, don't be that one that doesn't know that and everyone else around you does. And I ain't talking, you know, people, places, things, hell, even entities that necessarily mean you well at all. Also, don't be the one that doesn't recognize that because you'd yet to call judgment when your intuition said, please and thank you, the time is now. They can't go where you're going. When your spiritual guidance team got in your arse, had Ish come on the media, television, radio, signage about so and so or a group of so and so that is not meaning you well, that is not honoring your path, that is hindering your path. Like, I'm serious, you guys, a lot writing on this. Businesses, we talked about love, we talked about life in general, course. We often talk about the bag and whatever and what all ever you deserve to put in it. And we often also, just the same, and have again tonight, talked about even more. So a lot is giving high key and understatement. I don't know how to make it any more plainer. All right. But you guys, I know you're listening. I know you're doing the work. Okay. Bear with me because, again, the sense of urgency after opening the channel was greater than what I even anticipated. So I'm trying to articulate that urgency as well. Okay. To be clear, don't leave that part of the message indicator out. Okay, it's one thing to understand the message, but it's another thing to kind of like really tie it in with the urgency, all right, or the seriousness. All right, not a doom and gloom message, again, one of success. All right, let me catch up, you guys. Let me see. Love and light, Roseanne. I think I missaid your name, Miss Patterson. Much love and light to you. And love and light again, Cassandra and Sean and Fiona. I love you guys. All right, so let's see. Okay. Oh, it better be. Let me find. Let me stop. Oh, let me stop. Here we go. All right, Cassandra. Feel it. So I first had the Two of Cups come out, indicating yes. Clarification is the Two of Wands, which really speaks about decisions, balancing out, really talking about choosing you, right? And the bottom of the deck, I get it. There's a pull there. You know, with the Four of Cups, also indicating yes, though, to be clear, right? The only other non-yes card we got was the Two of Wands, which we already broke down what that means, and it's given a maybe, not a no, right? Um, okay, you're, I'm just saying, I know, energetically, even if this person is not actually like actively in your inbox or, you know, like texting back and forth, energetically pulling on you. Part of the test, it's giving, this is a test, this is only a test, right? Put that teddy bear down, it's missing eyeballs and arms, it's stinky, right? Because again, just like pile number one and anyone else connected to the collective, obviously high key, because you would be not even just connected to this collective, but connecting with a non-severability to divinity, to be clear, right? Um, so yeah, like success guaranteed. That includes love. You don't get just one or the other. You don't get just none, unless you believe that, though. And that's why we really work on, readying ourselves up for ourselves to get all that we came here to get, and more, of course, right? Because we wouldn't want to settle even just for what we. I'm so serious, you guys. You are a blessed people. Okay, you need to honor and smile and talk like it and think like it. Look at yourselves in the mirror like, look at you all blessed and stuff. You was blessed last Thursday, but this is a different week now. Look at you blessed. You was blessed 5 minutes ago, but look at you now. You get into the mirror and love on you. Give you your energy. All right, such to the point where it's just recharging your ish, cleansing you out, lightening up your load mentally, emotionally, and physically, and spiritually. And you just go up and up and up and up to that next level frequency. Ooh, and maybe even have your pick of the litter there. Could be so many choices there, right? You wouldn't even have time to try to stoop back down to catch a crumb, even if you wanted to, because you know better and you value yourself more and your quality, your essence, understanding you are the gift, right? It's got to be a match from here on out, right? No second guessing that, and no rose colored glasses. And of course, that means no smoke and mirrors, no red herrings either, and no red flags, right? Right. But in order to ensure that those around you are really on that type of timeline, in that type of vibrational frequency, you focus on you now. The rest will fall into place, right? Maybe somebody's waiting on you right now. It's all about your perception of the journey. And again, good thing, you guys, the journey isn't about like just the outcome. Like, could you imagine? Like, it's like, okay, so we can't actually ever have fun or like any like blessings until we reach to the end of the journey. And then what? You got 15 minutes before you're like off of this dimension? Like, how not okay would that be? That would be definitely feeling like punishment, right? So try to find solace in whatever allows you to do that, right? And even then, it's got to be in balance, right? Can't be band-aided up like, oh, well, what makes me feel all peaceful and everything is if I just, ingest this, imbibe that, and take 3 of those and ride it out. Like, okay, and though, because like, what were you do? Like, your life force energy was doing what to create what to produce what now then? Because how is that freedom and like living? Existing, perhaps, or not. Wasting time, perhaps. Right? Delaying the inevitable. What was the inevitable again? Success? Yep, 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 yep. You want to be on that type of, and as you make these different changes, you guys, I eat foods now that like the actual little child version of me would have retched over. Like I physically probably would have got sick. Probably because I was so sick, long story short, but that's neither here nor there for this type of conversation. But seriously, right? And the more that you actually turn over a new leaf, you're going to find, and you don't have to make it frustrating. It might be sometimes, but you don't have to automatically off the cuff assume that it will be frustrating. That you'll find several more than the one leaf you turned over that you're now expected to turn over because you kind of showed that you're successful turning over the freaking leaves. But on the other side of turning over new leaves, you're not even the same vegetation, right? And it's so good. You don't want to go back to like the pre leaf turning version of you, right? And also, what a time waster that would be, right? That's regression at best. And ain't nobody trying to regress all the way, what, back to old earth consciousness? That would be silly. That would be the anti version of what's looking to come your way, what's very much in existence for you, got your name sealed onto it and everything, lest you believe otherwise. Right? I'm glad it resonated, babe. Let's see her, Kelsey. Love and light. FI company? Okay, let me see. Is this a, wait, hold on. Oh, the thing left. Wait, let me see. I don't have my glasses on, I just realized. FI company? Ooh. So let me just check, because I'm thinking the Four of Wands. I said the Four of Wands. The Four of Coins wanted to come out in yes. Bottom of the deck is currently full card, but let me just triple clarify, because I feel like, what the hell is going on? Oh, now this is the most yes version of a yes you can get out of any tarot deck. And Archangel Michael might be someone you might want to have a conversation with, or might be somebody you do on the daily, because he's very much working for you, not against you, and definitely is able to offer clarity, right? But that's a yes, babe. Congratulations. I do see, I caught a peek at that High Priestess. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say you felt deep down inside that that was something that you in fact aligned with. And as I say that, I pull the King of Swords. All right. Good job, you guys. You're doing the work. The cards are even showing it, right? Even if it's one baby step at a time. Who's got time to poo-poo anybody's baby steps, whether it's yours or somebody else? Because growth just is growth. You know, growth is, change is part of the experience and the journey. And of course, part of your accolades in all of that, in the ultimate success. Matter of fact, guaranteed success. All right. You posted a question, Fiona. Okay, let me see. J. Okay, let's see here. Oh, said I pick up a vibe. Well, I'm picking up the Queen of Cups, who's the most intuitive queen out of all the other queens. All right, the other queens get jelly of her because of her intuitive connection. All right, let me see here. Bottom of the deck is that Chariot, so I want to see what is it. Oh, the Two of Cups. Oh, all right. Okay, Fiona, picking up a vibe because you're all intuitive. Don't act like you don't know. And you're a Cancer. You get the Queen of Cups of life too, Fiona. It makes sense though too, aside from the Cancer. But love and light, Michelle. Okay, now let me see here. My box seems like it's going away really fast. I don't know what's going on tonight. Okay, now okay. Receive communication or action from Tawny this month. Okay. Ooh. Okay, so World card is coming out indicating yes, right? I wanted to say something before. Wow, this is this seems to be a high-level soulmate of yours. Hold on one second. A lot of pull here, a lot of passion, but it's also giving disjointed energy, like hot, cold, or like messy, or confusion. But I do feel like the World card felt positive. Here comes Archangel Michael's sword out the deck now. You'll know I shuffled that. And my nose is trying to do that thing. Let me see. Okay, I see that this could be a situation, even aside from the history, hear me out. I want to make sure I have your name right because I want to say Michelle. Okay, it's Michelle. All right. Hear me out on the messenger, and I'm trying to describe some inexplicable-ish as well, to be clear. So, yes, you're going to receive action, okay? That's the general long and the short of it. But because I don't manipulate the cards or half-ass the readings, right, I do need to tell you that you should, in the meantime, right, work on not chasing but attracting. And how you would do that is focus on self, right? So you get this confidence about yourself, about the fact that the yes to your question is that, right? So it's like next time you want to worry, like, is he, will he, should I reach out? It's like, yes, he will when the time is right. No, you should not reach out. Okay, if you guys are really on this break, okay, which it seems like you are, because it seems like he's like keeping tabs. This could be energetically, this could be through divination. It doesn't have to be the case. It could be you know, through social media, through the community, right? But I do see that he is passionate towards you in the sense of at his core. I'm not saying it like he's so great at expressing that or as if he's never hot and cold in expressing that, to be clear. It's like a whole ball of wax here energetically. I'm trying to like sift through. Because I don't want to just be like, yes. Because I feel like it's not just a yes that you need to know. So, Michelle, work on whatever abandonment issues you can find within you on your side of the fence here. And it's not a blame game. I'm trying to give you the cheat code to attract this person in. I see that this person is a high level soulmate. I see there's passion on both sides. But what you need to turn, you're really being asked to essentially alchemize some aspect of fear in and allow for it to be passion instead of fear. Because fear and passion are not the same. And I see more passion coming out on his end. But this could be because he too could be a ball of wax as well. And some people have been programmed to perhaps like in physical touch, for instance, to be the equivalent to expressing emotions. And, you know, it's like you get an E for effort there, buddy, I suppose, depending on how good, you know, the passion is passioning or whatever, right? Long story short, but it's not going to cut it. Eventually, you're going to have that conversation where it's like, okay, I'm feeling like you're not hearing me, unless we're in the throes of passion, which is really hard to be in the throes of passion when perhaps you've got to be in a very public setting and talking about something beyond, you know, those type of affairs, right? And so you're being asked to utilize your strength. The strength card came out, and this full card energy, it's like I've got to actually do a little bit of the work to make sure that I don't get triggered in the ways that I know I've gotten triggered in the past, right? It's like honest conversation with self to self about this, firstly, but also maintaining confidence that you will ultimately have a similar like conversation with this particular individual. And you'd have to if you were really kind of putting your best foot forward and for this person to also join you in putting their best foot forward towards the connection. Do you know what I mean? But also it's kind of like how do you even outwardly express yourself to even be like, okay, treat me in these ways, say words of this type of nature towards me, if you can't lead by example at the same time. And really, I have to say this because as an ex people pleaser, I know that when you're in that people pleasing mode, you're not making room for any kickback for you to get the reciprocity that you deserve. Long story short, and it's not intentional, right? But once you realize that, and once you're being asked kind of like focus there to you know, like do the work there, that also goes hand in hand with your confidence in the fact that yes, he will come back. Yes, there is action. Yes, there is communication. But not only that, you'll be ready for it too. Like in the way that you deserve, not in the sense that, you know, your worth is riding on this, but in the sense of don't you deserve a higher vibrational experience and outcome out of the situation as it stands and out of the experience that's already been so far created in this life, this incarnation? You do, of course, right? And when you can kind of think about it like that, it becomes easier to be more passionate about having the talk with self, because the conversation doesn't end with you. It ultimately will, um, you know, make it so that you are able to have an actual full on conversation, which feels like at the end you've been heard in. And don't you deserve that? Do you know what I mean? But at the same time, if you had to sit there and say, hey, buddy, step 1 to 13 are these things, these are the itemized rules, blah, 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 right? I don't know that the guy's going to get it. Do you know what I mean? And that's not dig on anyone's sex or the other or anyone's anything, right? It's just imagine having to be talked at all the time. Would you feel heard? So it stands to reason you've got to lead by example and already just, you know, upon someone gazing and observing you long enough, they know she's not going to put up with this. Oh, this is expected, right? Like, oh, this is the vibe. So you're no longer going, oh, you know, let me focus outward of myself to figure out what do you need? How can I help you? Right? Because think about it. If I'm in that type of energy, I'm not allowing room for me to receive anything. I'm too busy pushing it back, right? And of course, it's not intentional, but it is something that people can actually suffer, whether inside of a loving connection or not, if they're just not aware, right? Okay. So now what you need to do, right? Here's the last bit of it, and I'll let you go, I promise. I really appreciate you hanging out with me though. Now that you know your worth and you've laid down the law or raised the healthful boundaries, which you can always check, like, okay, is my boundary healthy? One of two ways. Is it, at its root born out of fear and or resentment or anger? Or was it really because you meditate on it, prayed on it, however you want to say, right? You even thought about it logically, like, is that loving? Like, like if it's the child version of me and I just throw that person in front of that guy, is that okay? Like, because you are now integrating all that you are and intentionally focusing on all of that, honoring all of it, and loving it. Of course, that's going to include the child version of yourself. And often the child version of ourselves is really kind of the epicenter of why we have some of those kinks and knobs along the way, and those very intentional, caring, and concerning connections, because at the root, all right, they either entered or became a thing in childhood, and often connecting to very well-meaning people, even. Go figure. We come here with a veil, so no like hardcore instructions about all things and all ways, all things, right? Makes sense that how do you know you didn't know something properly until you know it, right? So you guys, Michelle and anyone else who can make sense of this, I need you to not beat yourselves up as you identify some things that need healing, as you identify some things that you didn't know. It's like, oh, and you weren't here to know everything all at once either, right? And sometimes there's protection in that, you guys. And always there's purpose in it, right? So just enjoy the experience and the blessings, the lessons, the education, the empowerment, right? The tangible evidence, seen and unseen, about the divine forces that back you, right? And that you are a part of, and that you are strategically placed here to implement out, what all ever that may mean for you on your path with your part to play. So it's not a punishment to be here and expected to, assist one each other, or excuse me, one another, to assist with integrating the new earth energies, and to assist with sharing testimonies and lessons, right? And growing. It's really what you make of it here. And the divine never sent you here to have like an absolutely horrid, horrific experience simply and solely. But you know what I'm actually reminded of right now, you guys? If we know we can look back to some horrific and horrid and dark and scary AF experiences, man, isn't that also simultaneously a testament to at least that and more that we have to look forward to on the other side of the spectrum, where again, that guaranteed success exists very much even right now for us? Think about it. It's kind of making sense, don't you think? It's okay to believe that way. It's checking out. And that's how you know you've studied to show yourselves approved. And even then, cross reference it with a text. Google search, look up the angel numbers. It's so funny. One of the last live streams, you guys, I think the number was 69. And I had a chuckle because I didn't recall talking about that number. And I said to myself, oh my goodness, I am kind of scared to look up this number, because like I was all like, look up those angel numbers. What yet? I'm like, I don't know what 69 means. Like I was channeling, you know what I mean? And I looked it up, and I need you to know it literally repeated what I just said in the channeling. Study to show yourself approved. Don't just take it out of my face, out of my mouth. Don't just take it into your ears. You got to know why you believe anything at this point, because what if anything at this point asked you to know? Well, I'm here telling you the divine's asking for you to know. It's that important. And again, going back to that urgency. All right. So thank you for sticking that one out with me, you guys. Let me just see here if anyone else is waiting, because I don't want anybody left in the queue. I know it's really late, and I do have this one last pile to get through. So again, congratulations, Kelsey Wells, on that new job. And congratulations, Queen of Cups, Fiona. I'm glad it resonates, Michelle. Thank you for being here. And you guys, thank you for sharing too. I know that is you also being vulnerable, right? And of course, we love to say sharing's caring here, but I'm mindful that, I mean, it can feel vulnerable. And so again, I just want to say thank you for those that do. And I know many of you come on week after week, day after day, and you do share so heartily. And so I just want to say thank you, because you allow me and divine forces simultaneously, right, to assist others through your vulnerability, even, you know. And also, if I do say so myself, it gives you more tangible evidence, you guys, that you're not alone. Other people are resonating like with your very personal paths, and take solace in that too. That's part of the experience, to know you're never always and always alone, even in times where you might be called, and as they may speak of so freely in many of your readings, into isolation or hermit mode. You're never alone, okay? And there is always someone, and there's always some way. And you know how you can tell? Because you ever think back to how many times you didn't think you were going to make it? Or how you shouldn't have? How the rules said, right? Tangible evidence is everywhere. You got to just do the work to honor it. You are more than capable. You've just got to do the work to honor who all you are. And when you start focusing on who all you are, it's pretty hard to feel all alone, even when in periods of isolation. All right, so that must be for somebody. I know it's always, great to have those gentle reminders, but I do want to get into pile number 2 as well, because it is late. Long story short, this looks like more cards, but I feel like we have way less cards. I think we're good. I could be speaking to somebody who is a brunette, somebody who has a sharp face, right? So there could be some significance. Oh, we don't have too much light tonight. Hold on one second, you guys. Could be some significance to green, even. Somebody could have a abundant uh, timeline coming in for them, and I'll claim it if y'all don't want it. Just saying, pile number 2. There could be some significance to red attire as well as black attire. So somebody could wear red a lot, or like your girl, black on black on black. Everything black, right? Somebody could be an albino. And you know what? Whether you consider yourself elderly or not, I really do have to make sure I put forth effort to show this female appearing figure on the card. There could be some significance to someone who looks like that, whether this is a collective member or somebody connected to the collective. But I was told with a great specificity to show this woman. It's something about the hair, the face, the style. Okay. Um, and speaking of aesthetic, somebody here could wear like bright colors like Barney or Steve Harvey comes to mind with the suits and that. We've got wavy hair. And yeah, I think that's nope. Okay. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Somebody here could be of a certain tribe, or have a tribal aesthetic, or prefer like tribal jewelry. Somebody here just could have like the tribal vibes. Like, it's like, if I had to pick anybody out of the crowd to have formerly been something, connecting to, part and parcel of ancient indigenous civilization, I pick Tony, or like whoever it is, right? And it's like, this is the vibe, perhaps, maybe not the actual literal situation. Okay, long story short. And somebody here could be plus size. Um, and somebody here could have freckles or a scar. Somebody here could be considered light skin, and or like hazel green eyes coming through. We've got braids. We've got an average build, piercings coming through, and seriously, somebody could have some sort of like age or significant maturity level about them. They could be somebody who presents as like an old soul, as it were, right? And really, collective for pile number two, since we were talking about love, long story short, if you don't resonate as that, but you know your person does, could you please and thank you make it make sense? Now, here's the sitch. If none of that makes sense, please don't try to fit square peg into round hole. That's algae, right? And not necessary, right? Take what resonates. Again, we are talking about your dreams coming true, whether in the nighttime, whether tonight or the night of whenever you find this timeless message, long story short, right? Or not. What I am picking up through the cards is there is some great hesitancy. It's like, oh, is this the one? Is collective member villain? But at the same time, I get like, yeah, like, yep, and or collective member. It's giving. You're saying, is this the one, right? About so and so, whoever's connected to this, or flip it and reverse it, or inverse it if you got it. I don't know. It's getting late. Forgive me. But long story short, um, I'm hearing Rihanna, you the one, okay? You the one, they the one. This is fate filled. It's a fated connection. As I look at the Wheel of Fortune. Um, so I'm looking at justice, okay? And the whole time you're getting caught up, and Archangel Michael just keeps coming through, right? And I'm looking at another one of his squads, right? Um, I'm seeing significance of insecurity here. Okay, I'm not trying to project it, but I also don't want it to stay for whoever that is, right? So general collective pile number two, even within the pile, certain ingredients, it's like right on, right? You already understood that was part of the ingredients list, and it resonates however you need for me to make it make sense. And maybe there's another few ingredients. It's like you're allergic. You would never. Okay, right? You know that. Okay, so that's good. Okay, don't forget. Like like it's got to be something it's not. We're not here to do that either, right? So maybe there's some significance to that. Maybe in the past with this person, whoever they are, whether it's collective member or the other that I'm honing in on, that tried to do just that, make something that it wasn't, or it felt like that, perhaps. Okay, everything's really a synchronicity, especially with this particular session. There really could be some significance to the nighttime. Maybe you guys saw each other a lot at night, or at night was when you could play whatever that might mean. Late night dinners come to mind as well. To be clear, I'm not just saying red room vibes, but since that's coming through, that could be. Maybe you guys actually went to see that movie. I'm trying to think, was that one or two of the Christian Grey series? That was a while ago. Anyways, long story short, okay, there could be some significance to somebody's pockets being a little bit fatter than the others. And it's again getting insecurity. Insecurity on both sides here. It's getting icky. No, fix it. There is some scared perception here that is kind of, you guys could be, yeah, okay. Hold on, let me see. Hold on. Please don't. Yeah. Okay. So high level soulmates, right? You might want to say, some might say twin flame. There could be some like disdain to this term, specifically twin flame. Soulmate felt easier, slipped out a bit. Twin flame might have been the what are you talking about part, right? Like the not seeing eye to eye part, the non reciprocity part. This whole time, this person actually views this is giving collective member. You could be female and or in the energy of that of the overarching divine feminine energy. Okay, I'll say it that way, to be fair. The whole time this person like really thinks like, wow, like you're like amazing and like you're like pretty, you're handsome, like I like to see you, hear you, I like to think about you and right. But at the same time, and the way the cards are coming through, it's like there's separation or there's hesitation, there's discord, stagnation. All right. Now I do see justice here. Okay. We've already talked about this being a fated connection as well, because that came out in your cards. I do see, I need you to know I pulled out of two different tarot decks for pile number two. Long story short, because I wanted to be thorough, because it's a freaking general collective message still. So I don't want to be all like, yeah, let's just make it all like about yes, when it's like yes to this part, no to that, or however, right? You guys know I don't play. Even with the free yes nos, I'm like, hold on, right? To be clear. Because I don't like that spirit of confusion. Maybe the spirit of confusion was part of some interplay here. I'm looking at the World of Fortune card. I'm also looking at the Justice card. Didn't we just talk about justice? Yeah, we did. So you know what I love about that though? That kind of rounds it out. Like it's like, okay, if y'all are marrying each other, irregardless of actually a twin flame counterpart, or simply and solely a high level hierarchy, soulmate, love and light, starlight, um, you're both getting justice. Justice is balanced. When the bell rings, babe, okay? No worries. Um, there was some significance to the twos as well. Usually I have three pals. I had two pals tonight, right? And then Archangel Michael's sword came out twice, right? And two speak to like choices, decisions, balances, order, clarity, passion. Somebody could have placed work a little bit higher than passion, clarity. Somebody could be a workaholic, whether this is collective member or this person. I'm getting it's this person though, because it's giving this person, in spite of those, in spite of the non-appearance of them actually like really being like about you, that's what it is. But there's no consistency or even connectivity here. I did make mention of this person having you in their mental space to the point where they like to think about you. So they do that often, right? Usually, if you like something, you do it a lot. Especially if you're good at what you like too, you really do it a lot, right? Maybe y'all really did it a lot too. Maybe they think about that or they want to. So you most likely do know this person, have been with this person, that they want lighter and brighter days, and Spirit's saying justice is here. Close out of the cycle. Justice is here. Here's a sitch though. This person could be not like you. They not like us, right? This person could be some significance to Kendrick Lamar, even the aesthetic or where he's from. I'm blanking. I think is it Georgia? I don't know. I don't know where he's from. It says a fire reveals a path of renewed direction once the burning is complete. Maybe this person was wanting to play the field too much. There's choices on both sides here. So whoever resonates with this pawn number two, I need you to know, you would resonate and understand that you have choices. I'm not saying that you love your choices or like your choices. You just know that like if your life depended on it, you could probably find somebody that would actually be like, yeah, sure, I would like love to go on like a coffee date with you, like even if it wasn't like towards marriage. Do you know what I mean? You got choices, honey. You look good enough, okay? I'm not saying that you have to believe you're God's gift to the world, or to any one grouping of individuals. But when you are honoring all of yourself, you most assuredly will understand that yes, you are handsome. Yes, you are gorgeous. Yes, you are worthy. Yes, you are high quality. Oh, yes. Right? No, seriously, you will. right? Keep going if you're not there yet. Don't put a period there and be like, oh, well, everybody but me. Because that's you doing that, though, then. Anyways, rewiring the nervous system. Yes, that's it. Ladies and gentlemen, don't be the one that is addicted to the fight and or the flight. It happens. It happens to the best of us. It is most assuredly an after effect of TRAUMA. They don't like us to actually say that or even often overcome it. But anywho, find strength in surviving that TRAUMA, right? Hold on, what is that? Hold on a second. Wait, hold on 1 second. I'm hearing the song. No, I think it's. Wait 1 second. Okay. Yeah. I heard like the background track basically of Glamorous, which is a song by Fergie and Ludacris. That's so funny because I don't know why I thought the camera was over here for 2 seconds. Like, where am I? Um weren't we talking weren't we talking about Ludacris the other week? He just keeps coming through, huh? Where is he from? Well, hold on. But at this one part, it's spelling out the word glamorous. And so whenever I spelled out that word, the T word, because I don't want to like push it, you guys. So I'm not gonna say it again. But I heard like the way that Fergie is like, kind of the way that Fergie's spelling out or singing out glamorous. And if you guys want to hear it, it's entitled "Glamorous" again by Fergie and Ludacris, a song from 2006. You know, it's funny. Nothing just happens, you guys. My spiritual guidance team is on point tonight. Here's the sitch. If you look up that the lyrics to that last song, it's also a synchronicity. The way that any of the angel numbers are a synchronicity. I'm so serious. Like, I'm so serious. We're talking about best life, highest in vibrational timeline and frequency. Literally, glamorous, the glamorous life. And it's funny because that song starts out, basically like saying like if you trying to come out broke, take your broke home, right? And we talked about lack mentality tonight, didn't we? So I kind of want to like recoin that phrase and tell you guys, if you're gonna come out expecting your harvest, your manifestations, your outcomes, your destinations, right? Don't come out with no broke mindset. Talk about when's it gonna come. That's the best way I can cheat code it for you, real quick and fast on a live. If you don't get that, book a session. I can make more time. No worries. But so serious, you guys, and you need to take a look at some of those emotions. You angry? Why? It might be valid, but like you should know why though. Also, you should know if you're angry, because and how you know something until you know. Well, you gotta root around, find out, give yourself chance and time. Ask, be honest, be open, right? Not rigid, boxed in, closed off, not avoidant, right? Maybe on the other side of doing some of this work, you find you're way less avoidant with the love of your life. And next thing you know, you're just literally living your best life with your highest vibrational self and soulmate, right? Like, it's somebody's something here because it's coming through the channeling and it's very synchronistic. It's obviously synchronistic at this point, which is also synchronicity of how whomever is connected to pile number two really is using that real powerful essence called stubborn in the lowest vibrational manner, especially if you're looking to create your version of utopia, which is your highest and greatest vibrational frequency timeline with the best of the best experiences, the glamorous life, some might say. Just saying. See how it's a synchronicity? Somebody needs to pay attention or stop avoiding the obvious. It might be more aptly stated. All right, you got too many synchronicities swirling. What do you want, smacked in the face with them? Like, I mean, please don't be that one, because divine is the ultimate strategist. Didn't I also say they were kind of radical in some of their approaches? And would you want to be slapped in the face? How loving is that? Aren't you connecting back to divinity? Some might say God, universe, right? Like, make it make sense, you guys. Because you need to break the patterns, the cycles, learn the lessons, and move on to the good stuff. Somebody here needs that. Keeps coming through. Conflict reminds you when you need more space to yourselves. All right. So whether you are resonating with being called into some form of isolation or spiritual hermit mode or not currently, you really do need to check in. Are you angry? I mean, even for those scriptural folks, right, in the religious sect, were taught that even anger itself can be holy, right? So I'm pretty sure it's safe to understand that sometimes you actually have to feel anger, right? I mean, how would you know the level of passion, perhaps, maybe even, if you didn't understand, that your why in the matter was that whatever it is, fill in the blank, pisses you off, enrages you, vexes your spirit, some might say, right? You have to have the experience sometimes to identify emotions as well as whether or not they bode you well. Because from one anger to the next, right? And both could be valid in the moment. One helps, one might hurt. Oh, but they're both anger. But are they both holy anger? Or maybe more aptly stated, an anger as an after effect in balance to a trigger, a catalyst, an event, a situation. And guess what? You need experience at both, don't you, to even figure any of that out. So please be grace filled with yourselves, understanding that you're here learning. Okay, that's not the problem. The problem would be you're not, you gave up trying to learn, or you like to not learn the lesson because the cycle excites you, even though it stagnates you, even though it's hurting you, draining you. Oh, it feels comfy, it's cozy, it's available, right? Make it make sense. Resolve your anger issues on the other side of feeling it, though. Resolve your fill in the blank emotional issues on the other side of feeling it, though, because the key was never to not feel. Again, it's part of the experience. But what was never on the menu, just the same, was getting trapped in the feelings or anywhere. Because, part of your birthright package is freedom. So, you know, right? Um, make it make sense. Welcoming surrender, you guys. Most of you, I gather, at this point, because again, you have been doing the work, it does show in the cards, right? Are really at the end stages, I'd like to say. Not that we're ever really done here, while here, as far as learning and growing and healing, right? But you are giving energetically, I want to say, like at the end stages, or even maybe because we're general collective, different places on the path, perhaps at the beginning of the end stages. And really, we're talking at this point, the surrender. It's like, listen, I know because I prayed my prayer at least one time of faith, okay? And really, a prayer of actual faith need only be prayed one time. The rest of the time, you should be, if anything, just offering up praise, thanks, gratitude, right? Because it would be silly to ask again something you'd already received on the other side of the initial request. It's given a tangible evidence of what? Your non-believability towards the first few prayers. Don't be that one, right? So again, a prayer of faith, like an actual faithful prayer, you only be prayed or requested or petitioned out once. So what's the cheat code here? Well, the cheat code would be if perhaps, I'm not here to project onto you just in case it happens, you try to worry about it, or somebody projects that you should, in hopes that you should, in chance that you should worry, to the point of no return perhaps. Maybe you're all sick and unalived and stuff on the end of it. Oh, some people really just have some crazy agendas out there, but they'll have their part to play too. Can't really be mad at it. Again, going back to the experience, long story short, right? But you realize, okay, I'm in charge here. I also understand what's going on here because I know my why here and I know who I am and I know what all that means and how that is not restrictive simply and solely to my meat suit and my experience here in this real time moment. You really start to get good at just kind of staying above the storm energy, okay? Even if the storm and the release of said storm requires you to feel that anger or whatever the emotion may be, or whatever you're looking to avoid facing about self and or others and or current situationships that you find yourselves in, okay? You know what, you guys? It's one thing to surrender, it's one thing to sacrifice, but to willingly do it, man, that's gonna put octane on those blessings. Okay, you want that at this point. Um, Frankly, because it exists. Also, frankly, simultaneously, just the same, you are deserving and owed. You know, the divine's not going to give me to the specific letter, the specificity of what all. The few words I'm trying to use, okay, very late on a live stream. And I know that because think about it. Again, it would go back to before you could even think about going to Amazon, everything that you could ever think to put into the cart, whether it exists in there now or not, would immediately show up in your doorstep. That would take the fun out of it. It would just be like, you just, you know how people like sometimes really have everything? They got a lot of love, and they got a lot of possessions, and they got a lot of like abilities, and it's just still not enough to keep them happy. That's what the divine doesn't want us to fall prey into, the illusion that that is the happy, because that is the restriction. Even though some might say, hey, I'll take the restriction because at least, I've got everything that the divine has come into me. I wouldn't be in the most healthful state. For instance, if you hadn't healed your relationship with money, right? And divine said, here's 1.5 million, like right now, babe, wiring in 19 minutes. You say, yeah, okay, bring it on. But you hadn't healed your relationship with that money. That money could be part and parcel of the way that you ultimately fall prey to an illusion that unalives you, even. Go figure. Stranger things have happened. Long story short, right? How are you helping somebody when you're not there to divvy up the funds, right? It's like, how would anybody know that you had any amount to go towards anyone if you, for whatever reason, weren't any longer around because you hadn't set up the paperwork? You know what I mean? Like, it's just, you do have to do your part, and you have to make you doing your part pleasurable, all right? Meaning you're grateful before you get to the good spot, to the spot of plenty, right? Where you can look to your left and to the right and have fistful of cash, perhaps fistfuls of cash, if that's something that tickles your fancy, which, hey, I don't mind, right? I'm just saying, right? But make it make sense, you guys. Because as you do, you're going to get to all of this a lot more faster with a lot less effort, and you deserve that. You guys are really great people. All right, you deserve to get what you came here for and more. And the divine already has the and more, so please don't worry about that either. Okay. I really want you guys to get this. I really want you guys to get out of your head and really get into your inward expression of self. Okay, focus in, not in the sense of being closed off and never letting anyone in, but so that you get clear on exactly how you are to express yourself here, perhaps for some of you, and for others, so that you maintain your confidence in your ability to do just that. Many of you have already been well underway with expressing, with creating, with sharing, whether you're on a podcast, whether you're on a public platform of sorts or not. Okay. And let's be honest, even for those that are silently doing the work with self to self, but authentically and repeatedly and consistently and not begrudgingly, please rest assured you are doing more than enough. Okay. Because as you are assisting yourselves, you are assisting the collective consciousness here, because again, we are all connected. So please don't dim your light anymore. You guys, my phone just lit up as I asked you to please don't dim your light anymore. I can show you because it's probably gonna go out on the live. I don't know, maybe because I picked it up, but it's not normally lit up here. Like, I'm so serious. Everything really can be a synchronicity if you are open to it. Please take a look around with maybe some wider eyes, right? And please take the rose colored glasses off. Right now, everything should be pretty clear. Is it giving to you? Is it taking? Is it for you? Is it against you? Is it with you? Or is it hating in your presence? Like, like you don't have time to kind of like pussyfoot around the issue anymore. You've got cards like, whether from one pile to the next, justice coming out, right? But please don't gloss over if and when we've got to talk about the judgment card, whether that's again going from self, you to you, and or you to others. Okay, you guys know how to make boundaries. Don't forget how to use them. Okay, and don't allow anyone to challenge your truth in the matter about you understanding who you are and your worth and how to apply the tax, right? And unapologetically, without guilt and shame. Please don't fear this person, pile number two, that is either coming back around, for those that know you resonate with the separation in this, because again, the justice, going back to that card again, really was on both sides. It's like you are not only the gift and karma, right, and maybe dharma even, but this person too. And really, long story short, you can't judge because they were in the same classwork, the same courses, looking at the same fears and facing down the same demons as you, even though it may be presented at certain times differently outwardly. All right, inwardly, you guys were really doing the darn thing, maybe even neck and neck, maybe not, but so what of it, because the outcome is justice. That's major arcana. You've got divine breakthrough assistance all over this, and we've got cards about guaranteed success coming out. It's all connected. Many of you might resonate from pile number one to pile number two because they seem to be heavily interwoven energetically. Don't be afraid of. I'm trying to say, wait, what does that say? Don't be afraid of the shadows. Oh, my apologies, collective. This is a situation to break free from the shadows. So, like, this person is coming back. They're coming back healed. They're coming back to help. They're coming back, authentic and honest and open, right? Not in the sense of like perfection, because does that actually exist without divinity? Not here. Definitely not here. Okay. Just saying, not in this realm. Okay. Um, and this person is definitely watching you. I said that through the channel. They're watching your growth. You could be inspiring them, pile number two. There's the hanged one energy with the student of mugs coming out. Somebody here could be connected to like university. Doesn't have to be the case, but there could be some significance to the color pink, whether guy, girl, what have you. Or even the artist, you guys, with that trapeze that's kind of given, like, I don't know, on the other side of pink. But this person really does love you, intend to love you. Again, I'm not getting with that Queen of Wands that they ever had a problem there. I don't know if this was just because of like differences in the speed of ascension. Maybe you were needing to be the catalyst, because we talked about being, that catalyst, that kind of triggering energy, um, sometimes being necessary to even get to the next steps, right? Again, knowing your why kind of thing comes to mind, even. Um, Somebody here could play the guitar or just really love guitar music. Doesn't have to be the case. And somebody could work in like corporate America. It's kind of giving like judge, law clerk vibes, or like teacher. I don't know. University even comes to mind again. Doesn't have to be. Whether this is you, collective member, or this other person. Okay. Um, Somebody here could be a single parent, whether guy, girl, what have you. You could have a daughter. Somebody here could be notorious for, whether guy, girl, what have you, their messenger bag. I know those used to be big in the 90s. Oh my goodness. I think they had like a whole Friends episode about it where Joey, I think they were trying to call it a purse or something. Oh, you guys can't even see it, so dark. So sorry, we're wrapping up, I promise. There is some significance to a bag, okay? This could be like a hiking bag, something with like a lot of compartments. And I don't know if this is connecting to the collective member or your person, right? Or I'm also kind of getting like this weird thing about like there's like a significant thing about a bag between you two. I don't know if you guys like normally swap out bags, or like, or you just normally share a bag, or or maybe this is maybe even connecting to like situation, like it's like you don't have a grocery bag but you got a backpack kind of thing, and maybe you guys share that. Not exactly sure what to make of that, but the bag was really highlighted earlier tonight whenever I was pulling, and even in the archetypes, it's like this is giving the DEATH card. Okay, so it's not like it's not going to be another turn around the wheel here of the same cycle. Okay, so it's not going to be like before, because again, you guys both separately and apart have acquired your own like experience of justice, experience of overcoming, experience of being strong, of being decisive, of being passionate, whatever it makes sense to plug in here. But I am also, to be clear, connecting a lot of these tag words and these descriptor words to the tarot cards, to be clear. And again, the full card energy, because why? Ace of, I won't say what it really is. There could be some significance to marijuana culture, I suppose. But love, okay, is what this card that I cannot show you is depicting here. Okay. But full card energy is the prerequisite. Well, that therein lies a bit of the risk, I suppose. But you've got guaranteed success here, and they've made cards about it. You know, if this is your story, right? And on top of it, again, this person is still, I need you to know, it's like heads up, do the work so you're not triggered, going to have choices. Just like you still have choices. Okay. And the thing is, I need you to know this person, just like day one, really doesn't think that anyone outside of you being with them, like holds a candle or like places any weight or like trumps. It's like if you're trying to figure out like, hey, are you sexy? Like this person's like, wow, wow, wow. Because even trying to explain to you with the amount of sexy you are, plus having to say the word sexy, plus keep their cool and their fluids about them, it's too much, honey. So please don't be that one that like can't see that though, because I mean, even if the person could actually be like, well, you're sexy in a myriad of ways. First, I'd like to start by talking about the way the candlelight glints off of the highlights of your hair, which bounces off the apples of your cheekbones, which slide down to your lips. And I'm sure they're soft too. And not to mention the way that you intoxicate me with your, like, because I mean, if you can't see it, what's the point of them saying that though? Because you could just get somebody to lie to you, you know what I mean? Or better yet, you could like delusion yourself into understanding the truth of the matter that, I mean, that guy's not even saying to have. I mean, of course you're sexy. Of course you're hot. I mean, your energy alone, right, is intoxicating and not able to be replicated. And it refracts back to divinity, power, royalty, you might say, right? So, what of it, right? Because if you can't get yourself there, honey, how are you helping somebody else out? You know what I'm saying? Right? Even though you could be talking about a myriad of things there too. And it is what it is. Make sense of it. Please honor yourselves, even in that way, if you must, to get yourself there so that no one else is misleading you when they say, oh, yeah, I can handle you. Or, oh, yeah, I actually bring something to the table. You know what I mean? Protect your energy, protect your court, whether you call it a kingdom or a queendom or what have you. Okay? Because now is not the time to be casting pearls. And I get it. Once you do that so many times, and then the other handful of times where people are just straight out lying to you, you start to go, okay, I'm being protective of my energy, but just shutting it down. I don't need nothing. I'm good. I got the rose. I can buy me flowers. Okay, I mean, yeah, that could be a thing if you want to restrict yourself into that. You're powerful enough to do that, right? But in this instance, pile number two, and you will know if this resonates, and I'm gonna get to the names and chart placements deck and all of that, but you at this point would know, okay, that this resonates, that you're just really just trying to protect yourself to the point where ego got a little out of balance, okay, freaked out a lot because a lot's happened, validly so. But are you gonna stay stuck there in overprotection mode, in overthinking mode, in fear mode? What do we know about fear? It's a robber. It's not your friend. It hurts, it takes. It does not give, it destroys. It's not the vibe. So, really, you got to live like you know that, right? And allow yourselves to be vulnerable. Vulnerability is not something that was ever supposed to be equated to absolutely, 1010% danger zone. All right. You want to know what the danger zone is in playing dummy games? In realizing, oh, I've been overarching the energy here and over protecting myself, or oh, I've not been protecting of myself enough. And then like not doing anything about it, like not putting forth effort towards the balance, right? That's how you get the dummy prizes. That's the dummy games. The dummy games was never realizing, I could live better. I could speak better. I could think better. I could expect better. I can be confident. I am free. I can be in charge of me now and not have that be to my detriment or anyone's detriment, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, because what you believe the most is going to trump any truth out there. Who cares what it is? So what do you believe in? Also, what are you making room to receive? Well, often, right? Um, the funny part about receiving is it usually does come on the back end of sacrifice, surrendering, you might say. So for the overgiver, it might look like I've got to give way less and give way more to myself, firstly, right? For somebody else, it might be like, you know what, I need to not expect myself from others so that I'm way less disappointed, right? But at the same time, knowing that on the other side of that, you can't swing over all the way to the other side of the same spectrum and equate into some other form of toxicity, which may sound like if I want something done, I've got to do it myself. You're creating that, man, sis, brother, Bob. Okay? So, here's the thing. I feel like you probably don't want more of that experience, and we know you've had that experience. Aren't you bored enough to get to the good stuff now? Okay? Especially now that you know you're creating the stuff that you don't want by not making the change, the catalytic energy, doing your own part to get over the hump, to get out of the residual energy, to get outside of the definition and, dare I say, realm of insanity, which is doing the same thing over and over again. Okay? The magician energy is here. Why is that? Because you are capable. because you have been doing the work. All right. So again, the overarching energy here is keep going, not get going, right? We talked about even on the lesser than side of things, you being in the beginning of the final stages of this, it's giving near graduation vibes, a celebration, a quantum leap, some might say. Who knows? Right? Depending on who I'm reading for. And this produces not only good fruit, some might say good flower. Let me stop. Um, but this is giving satiety, but not in the sense of mid, not in the sense of like just survival mode. Like, yeah, it's fine, it's good here. I guess I like it, right? Like Daria comes to mind, which is so funny. That's another '90s reference. There could be some significance to the '90s. Um, or somebody could have that affect where it's like they're just like, yeah, like I talk like this, like even though they could be pretty jazzed up, I guess, but they just like still come out like stoic and like monotone a little bit. Some significance to that, or like a grovelly uh type of tone or voice, I guess I should say. But I need you to know this person at the same time is actively or has overcome just the same the fear of like, hey, on your side of the fence, they're looking at you, they see you as more than a catch, they see you as more than handsome, more than hot, right? Irregardless of guy, girl, what have you, whatever. um they see that, there's people around you that see that too, whether you see that or not, whether you're on it like that or not, right? And so be mindful, like when you're trying to get all like sensitive about stuff, that they've been doing the work. You want to honor that. This is hot. Like this person coming back, like doing the work. You know how badass that is because you know what you were doing. So too with this person, whether guy or what have you, okay? Um, and there could be some significance. I don't know. It keeps coming through in like if this isn't like a difference in outward expression and or outward appearance, there's some sort of contrast that seems to be like it could be easy to kind of like be one of the reasons that might prove your, and like, how do I say this, one of the, it might be something that could easily allow you to overthink the situation. It's like, okay, maybe this person is not outwardly expressive, like maybe they are like stoic, like growling, I don't know, like, and you're just like almost finding yourselves in states of like yearning for them to express themselves in a different way, or vice versa. um it's just giving that you guys are built a little different. Like maybe there's even like neurodivergence attached to this. I'm trying to read energy, so forgive me, and it is late. But it's like how I already saw in the cards. It was the Six of Cups and the Three of Cups, right? And the Six of Cups, it's like it's cool. It's like, yeah, better days ahead. You're not really there yet. Like it's not really like that like sign of relief that I already talked about for the channeling earlier, right? And like the Three of Cups, it's like it's often iffy because it's like, well, is this third party? Like, is this a contest kind of thing? Or is it celebratory? Like, there's it's not really feeling all the way resolved either. But then when you add them together, when you place your energies together, when you place your intentions together, perhaps your finances together, perhaps your vulnerability together, perhaps all of those things together, it kind of like rounds it out in a whole into be some sort of like power position, or like even like maybe even like a spiritual promotion, depending on what all you guys are blueprinted to create together. Because again, this is a highly spiritual, very spiritually significant connection here for pile number two. Cannot get around it, whether you want to call it a twin flame or a soulmate, whether you want to call it a high level hierarchy soulmate or not. Okay. um there's like major arcana and divinity coming through this, and multiple tarot decks, right? So long story short, just to be clear, and there's double the energy of justice. So this is a setup, okay? We'll talk about setups in a high vibes way, because I don't want anybody attaching stigma to setup either, because there are some very high vibrational setups as well. This seems to be high key, not even low key, significantly one of them for those resonating with this, okay? Because you've got double the energy, you've got double the work, you've got double the power, right? Think about like even in like video games like Super Mario. It's like they eat the mushroom or like the star, and they're no longer just their mid muggle self, right? The one that's stuck in complacency and cycles. Okay, there's like this catalytic energy to it, right? So you got two of them. Not to sound like 070 Shake, but there could be some significance to LGBTQ plus community as well. Forgive me, I forgot to say that for pile number two. But just like double the justice, I mean, there's happiness. There is wish fulfillment energy, times 10 attached to this. And Archangel, excuse me, uh, yeah, Archangel Michael's sword attached to this, okay? This person is going to actually give to you and take from you. And what I mean from that is like it's giving soulmate energy, at least in this way. I can describe it because Twin Flame doesn't off the cuff normally give this. It would give the mirroring off the cuff. But soulmate energy normally comes in more like a yin yang effect. But hear me out. This is why I really want you to honor the work that you've done, as well as be mindful of this person too, because you guys have kicked arse spiritually, like seriously, for real, for real. You went inside. You went. You know how like they talk about Yeshua, essentially going to hell, taking the keys, and like you know the route. You know what I'm saying? Okay, dark night after dark night. Oh yeah, whether you got a cape or not. I'm so serious, you guys. And that is why you're being asked to honor yourself so that you can rightfully and properly honor this person. There could be some significant difference in like perhaps the personal affect from one person to the next in this connection. And it's like, dude, like how are you going to be like that's like meeting like the love of your life, and you're like, you know what, you'd be great if you just weren't that skin color. I just can't get over this, can't get over the skin tone. You know what I mean? Like you can't blame somebody for like really going through a lot and coming out with some differences that maybe they on a personal note feel like they didn't bargain for either, right, until they figure it out that it's their superpower perhaps, right? But long story short, so don't be so um quick to judge or be quick to dismiss, because again, going back to high key significance to twin flames, there's that mirroring, right? And this is also why it's so important, regardless of whether or not you're on that journey, twin flame journey or not, to do the work to the point where you don't actually AVUSE yourself, that you actually are loving toward yourself, that you actually are protective of your own inner child on your own, right, etc., 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 so that you would no longer allow for you to be in some of those lower less than dense energies, activities, and mindsets, okay, aka breaking those chains, being the generational curse breaker that you are, okay, the chosen one that you are. All right, so don't feel like you are incapable at anything at this point. All right, but at the same time, no, not to box in your expectations or divinity into any one form, format, outcome, experience or timeline, because to do so would actually be to proverbially, of course, shoot yourself in the foot, but also could delay some of those manifestations that you are deserving and are owed. Come on, right? So this person coming back has done at least, I mean, it's not a contest, right? Just to be clear, but I'm trying to like weigh out the energy, and it's like it's giving even Stevens, right? um it's giving 50-50, like at worst case scenario. So when I say this person is really going to come back and like connect with you, or you're going to finally link up with this love of your life, right? For those that don't resonate with already knowing this person, I'm getting for most of you, you already known this person, you've already intimately known this person at least once, right? um because there is like too much remembrance here in the energy. I don't know if, you know, often, like for instance, divine feminines are part and parcel of the catalytic energy for divine masculines to awaken beyond what they themselves had surrendered to and were open to, or whether they understood to even express that as the case or not in that current stage, right? And we always talk about change is inevitable, change is part of the program, so it makes sense change, right, can happen even referable to divine you know, counterpart energies, all right, and as it should for the better, right? So we don't look at change for the better as like some sort of ill-fitting probability or an improbability, okay, right? I mean, please don't be that one, because then you're really asking, like, almost intentionally at that point. Either way, you're asking to experience more of that, and don't you don't want that, okay, to be clear. But you guys, you both have worked through fear. I just feel like if you know, pile number two, irregardless of whether or not you kind of resonate with being the divine feminine energy here or not, if you know that after hearing this message, you have continued to work on you, you have not allowed yourselves to kind of fly off the rails, obsess, worry, wonder, ask from one tarot reader to the next. How about now? Ask the divine, rip up the seeds of manifestation. You know you're not doing that, and this person comes in, because there's no question, right? Now there would be a question if you're ripping, hello, you know, I just felt like, I don't know, do you miss me too, I love you, right? Like, that's not in balance. So you get what you give, right? It's given karma, which makes sense. You want to know why? Because it's a highly spiritual situationship, relationship, connection. It's not regular schmegular, okay? So, but it's okay, because neither are you, right? And you seem to be an equal part at this juncture of the timeline, of the work. The shadow work is really what I'm referencing. So look it up, you guys, if you don't know what it is, because you're going to want to know what it is, so you know, oh yeah, keep doing that, or oh, that's what it is, right? Because energy also changes, it ebbs, it flows, right? And if you're not doing your intentional part, right, other stuff can happen. I don't want that for you, okay? I don't even want to say. I was like, I was gonna go, no, I'm not even gonna say it. I'm not even gonna release the word, because I know better. I'm like, no, we're not doing that. But let me get you out of here, you guys. I am going to ring the bell. If you are still eligible for your question, you may pop it into the chat box according to the live stream rules. All right, just bear with. I want to close out the session for pile number two. While you guys do that in the meantime, so I'm not just sitting here twiddling my thumbs. I don't know why the Southern Belle reference is coming through now. Ooh, somebody could have two M's in their names, or like M&M's, or have the Scorpio M, I call it. There's like the Virgo M or the Scorpio M. But you guys, these chart placements, Pisces is coming out, as well as Sagittarius. Gemini at the bottom of the deck could be on the part of you, collective member, and or on the part of this person. All right, take what resonates, let the rest sit. Cancer had come out of the deck as well, referable to chart placements. Forgive me. Again, we talked about those M&Ms, or M. Tommy comes to mind. We've got H coming out. There could be some significance to the name Hanover, whether it's a location, town, city, or township. We've got is Zero from Stranger Things? Zero? I don't know. There's a character Zero, could be of some significance. But interestingly enough, we have O and U coming out. E, F, S, and J with our first, middle, or last name. And you guys, if you know it resonated and like the letters or the chart placements didn't come out, you know what you got going on, right? And so you know next steps, okay? And here's the sitch, you guys. Some of you, you're going to still have questions. And I need you to know you're supposed to, so that you actually continue to do the work. It's kind of part of the catalytic energy. It's like, oh, so you want to know more. All right, sit down, address who you're talking to, right? Whether you want to say Holy Spirit, whether you want to say God, Goddess, right? Whether you want to say higher selves, whether you want to say Aunt May, right? Whether you want to say Grandma, whoever you're talking to, okay? And please know, divinity backs you. Please know that if something makes you feel off, bad, or scared, that you are most assuredly to raise your boundaries up about yourselves and get out of that vibration, get out of that mindset, get out of that headspace, get out of that heart space, whatever it is, okay? Because you are in charge, and divinity backs you. It's fine. Here's the sitch though. Even with your little sandwich here of answers to your question, pal number 2, we've got very doubtful, not ever, not even a little bit, and weather permitting. It's still a sandwich of a range of high to low um, vibrational aspects of negativity. And that's not me trying to word curse. I tried to clean it up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Very doubtful. It's not giving positive. Okay, not ever. That's not ever usually positive, right? When you couple it with not even a little bit and weather permitting. All right. And we're talking about your confidence factor regarding this connection. So do your part to maintain your balance in that justice energy as well, right? Don't outwardly focus talking about, but when are they coming in? How about now? What should I wear? Right? It's one thing to manifest if that is not a stressful or stress inducing situation to think about during your manifestation process, right? Oh, I can see it now. I'm wearing this, and the text comes in. It's such and such a clock, uh, time or whatever. That's well and good, okay? Unless and until it's a situation or situationship where you're again falling down the rabbit hole, overthinking, getting upset, you're sweating, you need a glass of wine now, you gotta lay down and have a bad day because you decided to try to manifest something good. Is it giving good? Because at this point, you got to read the room, okay? And energy don't lie. People can, even to themselves. Go figure. So you got to check. Are you doing that? And also, if so, why? Because it's not going to help to not ask those questions at this point. It will always help if you ask yourself those questions, though. Just to be clear. All right, because I can't have you stuck on the fence. You know what's going to happen if you stay stuck on the fence? Ouch. Right? Seriously, it doesn't really matter, guy, girl, what have you. Think about it. You're stuck on the fence for how long? How many years? How many minutes? Depending on the fence, right? Some of them are made out of iron with like pieces of like sharp like so nobody really wants anybody on the fence here, whether you're wondering if it's anybody on your spiritual guidance team, whether you're wondering if it's God or Goddess, right? Whether you're wondering if it's your higher self even, which gosh, tap in if that's you, but still, seriously, nonetheless, nobody wants you riding the fence, okay? So don't be that one. Okay. Hanover pretzels. Fiona. Fiona's over there munching. I thought I heard something. Fiona. No, let me stop. Love and light, Laura. Okay, let me see here. It spelled the whole name. Oh my goodness. All right, let me get to the yes or no for this week. Laura. Wow. I don't know. I'm just still picking up on a lot of like, I don't know. And you really need to work on calming that, because sometimes you guys, you really do have to work a few times out of the fight or flight response. Your central nervous system needs to play catch up that it's safe to drop that situation. And in the meantime, it's really backed by literature. I'll say it that way, because I don't know if it's simply and solely in the scientific community and or medical community or not. I know it's also in the spiritual community, but I'm not exact. I think it's in all three communities, long story short. But you just really need to stay. I'm trying to figure out how to dumb it down, because I was going to go somewhere and I'm like, man, that's a whole nother rabbit hole. I'm sorry, you guys, forgive me. You just want to put your intention, your best foot forward here. But Laura, finally, after 3 weeks, okay, give you some significance to that. We've got a yes, both at the bottom and coming out for you. One of a wand and one of a cup. Ooh, who are we talking about? No, let me stop. You don't have to. But it makes me wonder only because, not gonna lie, cups could be speaking of job offers and opportunities. But the Knight of Cups is really iconically regarding romance. Just saying. Um, so whether you need them to have a wand or a horse, they go. Let me stop. This ain't even sexy tarot. Let me stop. Okay, but it is late, you guys. I'm gonna hop off. If we have everyone, let me see here. Is Starlight here? Oh, let me see. Oh, all right. Well, maybe next time, you guys. If I missed you, I promise it's nothing intentional. Sometimes I think maybe it's lagged, and I don't know. Tonight, my chat box seemed to be like really disappearing faster than what I feel like is normal. Oh, okay. Starlight left. No worries. Yeah. Alrighty. I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me. I'm not unmindful. It's very late, you guys. I do want you to go rest, of course. You can always catch these on the back end. I don't mind, just in case anyone wondered. I don't expect you to like have to hop on, but I really appreciate you guys doing that, and I do really have a lot of fun with you guys. Thank you for assisting me so much with getting the watch hours up and just being in support of the channel and of the mission, and I'm getting the free messages out to more beautiful souls like yourselves. You guys really are amazing, separate and apart from all of this too, though. Don't forget. All right. And I'm honored that you allow for me to read your cards. I'm not unmindful that it is a privilege. So thank you for allowing me to do that, even if, simply on the live stream or not. Okay. I do really have a lot of fun getting to know you guys and interacting with you and engaging with you. And I do very much look forward to some of our future endeavors together. I don't want to speak too much with any greater specificity than that, but please know I really am excited and very much looking forward to it. And thanks so much for being a part of this. It really doesn't work so well without you guys. Much love and light too, of course. And have a beautiful slumber, rest. Okay, I really do love you guys. Love and light.